Welcome to the video, everyone. Thank you very much for joining me today in this special video where I'm going to be sharing with you how one of my students generates £40,000 per month from a single product. Right, we're going to be breaking that down. I'm going to be showing you how he has excelled over the last 4 months and how we were able to do it. So stay tuned till the end, guys. Please like and comment on the video and make sure you've got your post notifications turned on so you don't miss content like this. I hope you enjoy the video and I'll see you guys in the next one. Right guys, let's hop straight into this video. Now, just to give you an idea, what's the learning objective? What's the outcome of this video? I want you guys to finish this, the short tutorial and feel more confident about the application of the different techniques that you're using to get your product to rank. Right, so we all know that ranking is very, very important, and I'm going to be going through some of the fundamentals in this video, and we're going to use a case study of mine, someone who has applied a lot of this methodology, and show you guys how it's possible to generate figures like this when you know what you're doing. So, as I mentioned in the introduction, one of my students, Suki, if we have a look below here, you can see that he posted in our mastermind group, that was back in September time, generating 26k per month from a single product, right? Which in itself is a tremendous achievement. This is someone who had no experience with online e-commerce. He's a 19-year-old student, right? So this is a big deal for this person, and I get a lot of satisfaction being able to get someone to this point. I still pinch myself when I see results like this. But that was a post, right? And that is an achievement. But as a member of the Academy, and just in general, if you guys are selling on Amazon, we know that we are constantly refining processes, right? We're always looking to improve, right? We're not looking to just stay stagnant, because we don't want to just hope that, it will just continue forever, right? I'm doing 26,000, I've thrown it up onto Amazon, let's just hope that this just carries on. No, we want to optimize processes that we use, and we want to learn from all the data that we've been gathering through sales how to improve. So if we move over to the right hand side, me and my student Suki worked very closely together. We hopped on a consultancy call back in September to look at how to drive these sales further, right? And we can see on the right side, that is in December, so December 2019, sent me a message on Instagram. We can see the on the right side of the screen, we have the shot there, and then I've sort of enlarged it over on the right side. So you can see on the right side, we're just shy of £40,000 per month, and that's from a single product, guys. And I want to show you all as well, something that is extremely important. You find loads of YouTubers who don't talk about profits. They'll show revenue figures and they don't mention profits, right? We care about profits. So this student posted in our student mastermind group, and we can see at the bottom there, they have a 40% profit margin on those figures, right? So on 26k, 40%, and on £40,000, they have a 40% profit. So that would be £16,000 profit on that 40k, right? Being 40%. This is ultimately what we care about. What's left over, this is going to be reinvested, and he's going to use this to scale. Now, he is a member of the 100k elites. So if we see there, his total sales have exceeded £100,000 from selling on Amazon. Again, he's asking me for his 100k award, which he will be getting very, very soon. But just to show you guys a little bit of a background, the credibility of this person, and then how does this lecture tie in to teaching you guys how he's been able to get to this point. So we're going to be looking at this case study and how was he able to achieve this, right? Your learning outcomes. Take away from this, the different methods that I teach you and what you need to really understand and focus on, and you can drive your sales up as well. We've almost doubled sales here, guys. So let's dive in and have a little look and a chat about what me and Suki talked about, and then what he went off and applied himself to see such dramatic changes as what we see in front of us right now. Right, guys, so we're gonna blow this up into a full screen presentation, so hopefully you can see everything super clearly, because this is extremely important, right? So we're going to be focusing mainly on Amazon's core ranking pillars, right, which are split into 3 sections: conversion rate, keyword relevance, and customer satisfaction. If this sounds like a load of jargon to you at the moment, I promise you it won't, and it will have a dramatic effect once you understand what these 3 things mean, right, and how can we improve all 3 of them, which I'm going to be going through in detail in this tutorial. You're going to be able to make significant changes to your listing, right? And these are the things that myself and Suki, and things that I focus on in the course, really core elements of any strategy when you're trying to rank on Amazon, right? So, a lot of people do forget that Amazon, it's a search engine, right? It's the largest search engine for e-commerce in the world, right? And if you were to exclude YouTube, because they're part of Google, it's technically the 2nd largest search engine in the world. So not just for e-commerce, just search engine. 54% of product searches online take place on Amazon. Like, that is just insane, guys. Over 50% of product searches go through Amazon. We need to understand how on earth do they rank products, right? What are the fundamentals behind their ranking system, and how can we fine-tune our products to rank really well? I mean, ultimately, ranking is the most important thing when you're trying to make steady and consistent sales on Amazon. So I think something that is often overlooked, right, is the power of SEO, right? Search engine optimization. Often when you think of SEO, I know I was one of these people. I was aware of the basics of how the Google algorithm worked, but I didn't really understand. I wasn't up to speed with SEO on Amazon, right? Because it is very, very different. And they've got very different objectives, Amazon and Google. Very, very different objectives of what they're looking to achieve, right? There's a stark difference between the 2 business models. And just to give you an idea, Google, they're concerned with what results, right, on their page, when someone searches for something, what results are most accurately going to answer the searcher's query, right? What they want to basically give you the answer to what you're looking for. Whereas on the other hand, with Amazon, they're more interested in what is the searcher most likely to buy. So what is the person who's searching for the product, what are they most likely to buy? They want to put products in front of consumers and customers that are going to be purchased, right? They're a well-oiled machine, a revenue-driven machine, and they are designed to sell as many products as possible through the platform. And it's growing rapidly, year on year, exponentially, guys. And we're going to break these 3 down now. But before I yab on too much, right? We'll break these 3 down. So they have core ranking pillars, right? And they're all tied back into to revenue through sales velocity, right? So we know sales velocity is how many sales you're getting, which in turn creates revenue. But they're broken down to 3 key areas, right? Conversion rate, keyword relevance, and customer satisfaction, right? These are the 3 things that help you rank on Amazon, right? We all want to be on the first page. The first page is where all the sales come from. 2/3 of clicks are on page 1. So 500 million products on Amazon.com, and 2/3 of clicks are on page 1, right? That is 66% of clicks are on page 1. You have to be on page 1, right? Otherwise, you're going to be missing out on 2/3 of those clicks. So if we break down these 3 elements, guys. Firstly, conversion rate. So if we look at the top there, conversion rates on Amazon have a direct impact on where your product will rank, because it tells Amazon's algorithm, their A9 algorithm, which products are most likely to sell like hotcakes once they hit the first page. So conversion rate then. How can we improve our conversion rate? How can we better our conversion rate to help us rank on Amazon? With Suki, our main goal was to get him onto page 1 for all of his search terms, for his main search terms. We've done pretty well in doing that, which is why his revenue has gone up so much. And we'll look at that in a little bit more detail in a moment. But the first one is optimizing your pricing, guys, right? Amazon, their A9 algorithm it's designed to be able to predict what products are going to convert, right? That's why price has such a massive impact on where your products rank in search results, right? If you add a new product onto Amazon at a cheaper price than, say, the average competitor, for example, your product is inclined to rise to the top. It's not guaranteed, but it is inclined to do that. At least until it will gather enough sales velocity to determine the actual performance of the listing itself. But pricing is key. It's not the only thing that drives sales, which is why you don't see Amazon's first page just an order of items listed from low to high, right? It's not just the cheapest at the top and then the highest at the bottom. And you can look at examples for that, but it's not about cheap products that are at the top. You've just got to maintain the idea that price is very important. You want to be competitive. You don't want to be constantly battling against your competitors for a price if you're all selling something very similar and it ends up just being a race to the bottom price, right? And you don't want that. You want a quality product and with the price reflecting how good the product is, right? Have we differentiated? Have we added value? Does the price actually reflect what you're selling? So something else we focus a lot on, right, is a title, right? We're going to skip a listing that sells because we sort of touch on that underneath. It kind of is encapsulated by the things underneath. But the title have to be user-friendly, not overly crammed with jargon that people can't understand, right? Keep the title as user-friendly as you can and put the most important keywords at the front of your title, right? Just provide enough information to entice clicks. Don't overdo it. Utilize the space, but don't overdo it. The days have gone. When I started, you just stuff your title full of keywords. But this has been proven. A study by SalX have shown that it actually may hinder your rankings if you just cram it full of crap. So, when you are selecting your keywords, and we'll look at this later on, make sure you've done your research, right? And we'll look at that in one of the second pillars of these of the three. I won't go into too much detail here, but making sure you've used software tools, Magnet. You've looked at what relevant keywords you want to rank for, and you've included them at the front of your title. So if we move on to bullet points, it's one of the first things that the customer sees, right? So you need to make sure you're highlighting the best features. And one of the things that we improved on with Suki, we looked at the key features of his product and made sure that it was succinct in his delivery of his bullet points, what was being sold, right? It has to be designed to convert. You can improve the power, if you will, of your bullet points by including information that, like, maybe your best competitors or your top competitors don't provide. So have a look at what they're not including, and you include it. One way that we use within the academy to do this is look at answered questions, right? If someone's asking a question on a listing, a competitor's listing, it's likely they haven't got the answer to it on their listing. So if you're selling the same product, have a look at what the questions are and you answer them in your product description, because people ask questions before they buy. So if they don't need to ask questions to you, that is that's a positive thing. Product descriptions, again, these are all intertwined, but 50% of Amazon shoppers say that they'll read the full description. I don't know whether that's correct. That's reading that I did earlier today, but it seems like a lot. But if we assume that is correct, 50% will read the product description when they're deciding what to purchase. So it needs to be well written. If you get it outsourced on Fiverr, make sure that it's proofed and it's quality, right? It will have a large impact on conversions. It's likely to be the last thing they read, right, before they choose to buy you over someone else. So make sure you put time into reiterating the points that you've made in your bullet points and highlighting any other key features or benefits and stuff like that to help conversions. Make sure if you've got a trademark, you've used A+ content, or previously known as enhanced brand content. It's just a great way to visually engage the description and your customers to be able to showcase to them your product in a bit of a different way, right? Which is important. A/B testing is something that we need to focus on, right? To improve conversion rate, again, to drive your ranking and boost sales, you need to understand A/B testing. Images, if not the main, they are one of the main driving factors for conversion rate. They are incredibly powerful. So if you haven't split tested different images on Amazon, so basically swapping images over a week or 2 weeks to see how it affects sales, what entices the click, what converts better, you might be surprised if you do that. And it's something that I emphasize a lot, right? There is a tool to do that, Splitly, I think it's called, but you can do it yourself manually if you choose to. You don't have to use a tool. So sponsored ads, guys, something I have so many questions about optimization with regard to PPC, and how does it work, and how do you find keywords that convert. It is not easy, right? It's not easy, but it's absolutely possible if you understand how to do it, right? There's just so much information out there on PPC. I've got like a whole module or 2 modules even just focused on launching a product and Amazon PPC, because it's such an important factor, right? The great thing about PPC and like Amazon SEO, I suppose, in general, is that your performance with your campaigns help support your organic performance, which again will increase your conversions and your conversion rate. You will get more sales, and Amazon will help you rank. So your advertising that you do, especially at the beginning, is going to be driving your organic ranking. A lot of people look at Amazon PPC as just like, I only need it at the start, and then I'm going to just turn it off once I'm ranking. We need to, and again, myself and Suki had a solid strategy with PPC. PPC is not a means to an end, guys, right? PPC is an effective tool. If you can have a profitable PPC campaign, right, that you're performing better than your break-even ACOS, if you are profitable, so if your break-even is 30% ACOS and you've got a 10% ACOS, don't stop, right? Constantly keep refining it and constantly keep spending, because ultimately you're making profit on those sales, and you're also driving your ranking for the keywords that you're making sales on, which in turn is, it's helping with your organic ranking. So it's very, very, very important that you understand how it works. For me personally, initially when I launch a product, and students who launch, Suki who launch, you need quite an aggressive PPC campaign at the beginning. Now, some argue to jump straight into an automatic campaign. I have practiced this in the past. I try different ways at the moment to try and mix it up and see what works best. But ultimately, I like to have sort of 3 tiers of keywords, right? And of even like a campaign that's split into 3 different levels, right? And at the beginning, we have like an introductory level where we are testing keywords, possibly keywords that you've gathered from Magnet, or keywords that you've brainstormed yourself to try and work out what are the best, or keywords that you've reverse asyned from other listings, but you're testing keywords that are relevant, right? And we're seeing what the results are. Now, you can do this straight through your Seller Central, right? And once we have tested those keywords, we can then optimize, and we can create a second and third level of winning keywords. So what keywords are 100% profitable for you that you can begin to bid more on, and per bid, and spend more on overall, right? Very, very important. And you don't have to just use your old PPC method of just advertising in the search results at the top and the bottom. We can use sponsored product ads, where we actually advertise on competitors' listings. So we go after competitors' listings and ones that we believe are, that are relevant. So nothing that's like completely different to your product. If it's half the price, we obviously wouldn't want to advertise on that listing unless we're adding crazy value. We want to advertise on listings that we think that we can steal the sale. And through doing this, you can see how well you perform on other product listings, and you can even reverse engineer and actually find out what keywords is the customer searching for to then result in that sale that you've made from the product listing. So very, very, very important to understand PPC and the tools that you can use, and something that we implemented throughout this case study to make those sales jump up as much as they did. And moving into the second pillar, keyword relevance, right? This again is extremely important. What I essentially mean by this is, how does your listing and the back end work and front end work that you've done with regard to your keywords, how relevant are they to the product and to the customer who is searching for that product? How well do these three tie in? So you need ultimately to have relevant search terms in your listing, throughout your listing, in the title, in the product description, bullet points, and in the back end of your keyword section. So you can see from the top here, how do you get good keywords to help drive your organic ranking, your ranking? Brainstorm, right? Search terms that you think someone would use to find your product. Brainstorm them with your business partner, or if it's just yourself. Work out what keywords do you want to test in your listing, but also ones that you will input into that PPC campaign when you're doing your sort of introductory manual campaign, to work out how well the keywords you thought would do well, how well do they actually do. You can actually analyze competitors, their listings. You can run reverse ASIN searches on listings that are doing extremely well, who are selling the same product as you are proposing to sell, and take their keywords, right? Look at what keywords they rank for, look at what keywords they're using through reverse ASIN, and then test those keywords, right? Test them in your listing, test them in your PPC campaigns to work out what converts best for you. Again, tools to do that. You can use Magnet, you can use keywordtool.io. There are lots of ways to validate keywords to put in your listing, but you have to be constantly doing this, right? Once you've launched, because this is what's going to improve your sales overall, and something that me and Suki did in this case study example. Looked at what keywords were converting, tested them, and then refined that, and we began to increase the ad spend, which was profitable because we'd done the back end work. Look at the bottom point here, guys. Prioritize search terms with the highest search volume. So bearing in mind that broader terms will be harder to rank for. What that means is, shorter search terms that are not very specific will be harder to rank for. So depending on the competition, you might want to look at longer tail keywords that have a lower search volume, but lower competition, right? So you can test these things. So it might be better to, instead of trying to rank through your PPC campaign and even including the words in your listing, instead of trying to rank for broader terms that have got crazy search volumes, high search volumes, but they're very competitive, instead of doing that, search for and try and identify keywords that have a lower search volume, so lower revenue figures overall, but the competition is much lower and it's easier to rank for them, right? The bid will be lower, you won't need to spend as much per click, the cost per click will be less, and you won't need to spend as much on your budget, right? Moving on to the last one, guys, customer satisfaction, right? So if we look at the top there, customer reviews are one of the most important Amazon ranking factors. Not only do they tell Amazon how customers feel about your product, but they're one of the most impactful conversion factors in e-commerce, with almost 95% of online shoppers reading reviews before they buy a product. That's a crazy figure, right? And over 60% say they wouldn't purchase a product with less than 4.5 stars out of 5. I am part of that 60%, guys, which I'm not sure if you guys are, but I wouldn't personally. So they help drive both conversion rate and keyword relevance, particularly for the longer tail terms. So basically, they are important from reading from the top of the page there. So what do I mean by account health? Something that a lot of people overlook. It helps drive your ranking, right? It factors into how well you rank organically, which in turn will increase sales, which is why we are looking at it, right? Amazon, their mission statement is to be like the Earth's most customer-centric company, that they are focused on the customer. They are relentless to make sure that the customer is happy, right? And one way they do that is by scrutinizing sellers and being sure that you are doing what you're supposed to be doing. The performance metrics and health, account health itself, they they're the bread and butter, right, of your success. If you have poor account health, your listing will just be shut down, right? Your core ranking will be crap, and if you don't meet the minimum performance requirements, they'll just suspend you. So you have to be fully in the loop with what order defect rate is, cancellation rate, late shipment fee if you are fulfilling the orders yourself. What does all of this mean? Policy violations. If you've got, for example, compliance issues, if you've got counterfeit or inauthentic product complaints, all these things need to be understood. So make sure you visit your account health. You try and keep your order defect rate below 1%. It's based on a few different things, but mainly how many of your products just have a negative feedback attached to it from a customer that's given straight to Amazon. It might not necessarily be through a review. It might literally just be feedback to Amazon that your product is either not working, or it's terrible, or they've had a bad experience. And that all factors into your defect rate, right? Defective products. That's the main one. And reviews, again, drive ranking. They drive sales. You have to focus on reviews. I have students who focus very, very heavily on reviews, and they do well. And, I see other people online and elsewhere who've got no reviews, and they try and launch a product and don't realize that it won't work. And even if they've got a few reviews, you need to be relentless. You need to be pursuing every avenue that you can to keep driving reviews. They're one of the most important Amazon ranking factors, right? They don't just tell Amazon how customers feel about a product, but they're very, very impactful on your conversion rates, right? 95% of online shoppers will read a review before buying. That's a lot of people, right? So you need to have good reviews. They help drive conversion rate and keyword relevance, particularly for longer tail terms, which we talked about in the past. So, from my experience within the academy, how do you build positive reviews on Amazon? There's a lot of ways, right? But maintaining communication throughout the purchasing process, right, through email automation software is key, right? So follow-up emails, thanking someone for their order, notifying them maybe if it's been fulfilled, just creating a seamless buying experience that leaves customers just likely to leave a review. How do we make them want to leave a review? If they just buy it and never hear from you, they're much less likely to review. I like to, and again, same as what myself and Suki did, added branded packaging inserts to thank customers for what they bought, and it personalizes the experience, right? It differentiates you as a brand rather than just another nameless Amazon seller. So it's important. And in these inserts, you can leave a friendly reminder, right? Leave a reminder for them to review the product in a delivery note, right? You'll have better response rates through that than you will through a generic email that they will have through a generic email from Amazon that they know that everyone gets. They're all the same. Whereas if they've got a personalized insert, they're more inclined to leave the review. What I like to do, additionally, as a third point, is I like to provide upfront returns information, right, without a customer having to ask for it. So because it shows the customer how confident you are in the quality of your product. If someone's not happy, right, you're adding fuel to the fire. If it's hard for them to return the item, make it easy for them, right? It will reduce the chance of you having a negative review for the product, and you can intercept it maybe before you get a negative review, because they'll be more likely to reach out to you if they know that you're willing to help with that kind of thing, rather than just bypassing you and going straight to Amazon. So what I like to do as well, follow up with the customer, make sure that you chase them up, right? Find out how they're getting on. Make sure you're giving them any instructions if you're supposed to. And again, within this, if it's an ebook or whether it's a follow-up email, if you've got a sequence of 3, include a polite reminder for them to leave a review. Finally, what goes without saying, making sure that you deliver an amazing experience, right, from start to finish for the customer, everything, no problems. very, very solid product ideas, tested products, sample products that work really well. All these three things, these key pillars, they'll all tie into ranking, which is what you have to focus on when you first launch. Everything else, all the back end work has been done. You just need to optimize and focus on your ranking. It's very, very, very important, guys. And that's it, right? I just wanted to highlight it to you. What the three pillars are and how they work, right? How do they all tie into ranking and the importance, the importance that they actually and how they all tie into ranking, basically. So guys, if we shoot back to the beginning, if you made it this far, profit on this is 40%. So that's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video, and don't forget to comment and like the video if you've enjoyed it and found it useful, and make sure you're subscribed, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.